Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Everything Digital, the show where we bring you everything cool, everything hip, and yes, that's right, everything that is digital today. And as always, I'm your hostess with the mostest, Faith History Insa, and I'll be your digital guide on this series. Now today, I have with me a very special guest, and he is quite the emotional intelligence expert, but he hates to be called that, so we're just gonna call him Innocent, Kenneth.
Thank you.
And so he's here on the show, and we're gonna be talking about like emotional intelligence. And welcome to the show, by the way.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Trust me.
Yes, before I barrel down the road talking about what we are going to be talking about. So, you know how like in life, right? This is what got me interested in this topic. Some people seem to be like super book smart, but somehow they're just not winning. Like the other people who aren't as book smart. And, I've read that, your IQ, which is your book smart, your level of intelligence, your intelligence quotient is very important. But so is this thing called emotional intelligence, which is your EQ, right? Your emotional quotient, right? EQ. So tell me why, some of that is happening. But before I get into that, I wanna preamble that a little bit, right? And just say like, I went online and I saw on this website a list of attributes, right? Human attributes that kind of push the notion that your emotional intelligence is high. It includes things like integrity, humility, self-reflection, thoughtfulness, and a good sense of humor, of all things, right? Like the fact that you're funny means that you're emotionally intelligent. And why is this important for young people? I mean, that's why we're talking about this today. So a lot of young people in Nigeria and a lot of young people listen to our show, and they're working, they're starting their careers, or they're starting a business, and they're just thinking, I'm very smart, I've got this big degree, nothing to me, I go do all right at last. So talk to us about why that book smart is not as important as that EQ, that emotional quotient.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? You can know all you want to know. I'm going to just say a little about this, and it's one cognitive bias that people have, and most times they just think that, oh, I know it, I know my stuff, so everybody else should know it, right? That's bullshit. Except you want to feed yourself, fuel your car yourself, generate your fuel yourself. You want to plant your food yourself, you want to, do everything yourself and never interact with people, then it makes sense, right?
Which is why they say no man is an island.
Exactly.
Right.
So but if you need to interact with people, you need to socialize, you need to associate with people, partner with people, do things with people. You can never underplay the role of emotional intelligence, like you mentioned, integrity, humility, the sense of humor. Especially in Nigeria, everywhere is everywhere is hot.
Everywhere is hot.
Like
people wake up hot. Like literally, not even like just their head.
Trust
hot.
me, everywhere is hot.
There was no light at night, and so they just wake up hot.
The moment you step in from the airport, everywhere is hot. The atmosphere is hot.
That airport.
So it's depressing really, and this is the reason people come in and for a few months they're depressed. They're wondering, why am I here? Like what's going on?
What happened to me where I was?
So, but anyway, the fact that that you shouldn't drop stuff on the floor because it would clog our waterways, it will clog our drainage system, and all
kill
of
the
those
turtles.
Things. So exactly. So all of these things, right? But you just realize that
somebody in the studio just looked at me because I said kill the turtles.
He doesn't know that it's important not to kill the turtles.
No, he's thinking, why do the turtles matter? That's a story for another day. But the point is, if you're killing turtles with plastic that you're dropping on the ground, because the plastic now, water carried it, or somebody swept it
it's not
into the water. It's not biodegradable.
Exactly.
If you can kill a turtle, you can kill a fish. You can kill other animals in the sea. And once you start disturbing that ecosystem, we are finished. So that's a story for another day. But it's a project that my daughter is working on, and she has a really nice piece of art that she created. Yeah, around these turtles. I'll show it to you in a sec. Yeah, but anyway, let's go back into emotional intelligence.
So why is
it important? And what on that list do you not agree with, or do you agree with?
I agree with everything. You know why? The reason I agree with everything is that emotional intelligence like the emotion doctor would always say, is life. It's not just a skill, it's not a habit. So initially I was mentioning something about system 1, system 2, and how you live life forward and then go backwards to understand what just happened.
Yes, we talked about that off air, and I want you to break it down for us because I feel like it's a gem. So for those who are listening, we're talking about emotional intelligence, and if you're just joining the conversation, I'm here with Innocent, Kenneth, and he is talking to us about the importance of emotional intelligence in your work life, in life in general. So now let's go back to system 1, system 2, like how people live.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to tie it from IQ. So your IQ most of the time is just personal, is internal, it's what you have in your head. You necessarily do not have to relate with people to have a high IQ, right? So you could just sit down alone in a room and then reproduce all you've read and then ace all your exams and all of those things, right? So it's good, it's important, when you need to solve problems, especially
that your brain is firing.
Exactly. So now let's go back to what I was saying about system 1, system 2. So every human being is instinctively logical and more emotional than rational. How people think, some people say, I'm on the logical side, and it makes me laugh sometimes because what you think is logical is actually your constant wiring that has happened as a result of your system 1. So you see people who go through some life occurrences, some very deep things that happen in their life, and they have a change of lifestyle. Nobody preached, nobody said anything to them, but you just realize that, okay, some things are more important than the other things. That's, family time is more important than chasing money because one time you almost died.
And then you realize that it was your family
exactly
who was there for you.
Great. So these things like that, the reason why they have such lasting effect is because they touch the core of your being. They touch your system 1. They touch your instinct. So next time when you're in a situation where you have to choose between family and work, you choose work without even thinking, and then you have all the logical reasons to back it up. So this happens also in purchases. So when people want to buy, some people say, I have to read, the geeky part of us, I have to read. So
I'm one of those people, by the way.
What are the specs? What are the days? What are the dates?
I want to see like when it expires.
Exactly.
What are the ingredients that went into it?
You think that's that's the first thing that influences your buying. Oh no, it's not. It's more emotional than. So you're only looking for logic to back up what your emotion already wants.
Right, like I already know I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, so
but now I'm gonna prove to myself that it's a good buy.
Great.
So I don't have buyer's remorse.
So you're
another emotion that we all feel.
Exactly. So you're already. It's a feeling. You feel like, okay, I need this. You feel like you want to buy this. You feel like you should have this. You feel like, okay, this will make me feel great to have this. So you're already done with the feeling, and then now you're looking for reasons to say,
the logic.
It takes, for instance, this camera. I can take pictures underwater. My friend, all you just needed was a camera to feel good. You just wanted to have the camera. So right. Yeah, that's all you wanted.
All right.
So yeah, system 1. Like I was saying, and system 2. System 1 is your first animalistic reaction.
Okay.
So like I was saying, so
that's your emotion, that's your gut.
Where somebody like slaps you, right? The first reaction you have is,
I'll slap you back.
Okay. What did he so? Like,
right.
That's
What'd you just say? What did he so?
Yeah.
I like that.
If you're little trained, emotionally, but if you're not, the first thing is within this up.
Right.
So you've given like your first reaction, then
right.
The
and
logic
then,
now comes like, okay, so what's happening?
What's happening? Why did
well,
you slap
I've returned the slap already. So yeah, so this things as little as this, So when somebody comes to you with their system 1, this is the difference when you want to know someone who is highly emotionally intelligent and someone who is just just there.
A baby in it.
Yeah. So when someone gives you their first system 1 reaction, if you're able, right, to sit back and say, okay, what triggered this? Not just in the person, but in yourself also. Like, okay, so why did this person slap me? Was the person trying to fall and then he couldn't fall, so he was looking for something to grapple on and then he slapped me? Or was this person
wake up hot? And
or
they never cool down.
exactly, or is this person just a dumbass, just looking for trouble and wanting?
Right. Like,
So
what
if
is
this person is a
really
dumbass and is looking for trouble, what reaction is he expecting from me?
from me?
So
Does he want my trouble? Is he looking for a fight? Am I gonna give him the fight today, or am I going to save it for him for another day?
Exactly. So then that when you ask yourself all these questions and answer all these questions, you're able to filter, what it is that triggered whatever it is that was triggered, and whatever caused the reaction or the action, whatever. So
okay, so that time of doing all this thinking, breaking everything down, a lot of people don't have that time. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just feel what they feel, and they're like, fight starts, Ijagburu, like immediately.
So it takes me to my initial statement that emotional intelligence is a lifestyle, like it's
lifelong. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not something you wake up and say, "Oh, I'm emotional intelligence expert," so I know. See, there are days where because the life is not very predictable, right? So
unpredictable.
Yeah, so sometimes you'd never prepare enough for some things that hit you. As much as we know people die every day, people die, but there are some deaths that come and you're like, so this person can never die. I'll take a typical example. Kobe Bryant looked indestructible. So when he died, if you followed the social media buzz and all, you see people like, this life is nothing. No, this is all of a sudden just comes back to them that, oh, okay, the most important things in life is just live a life of impact, and all the motivational speeches start to come up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is not promised.
All those deep talks, that just start to come up along the line. So what happened is that there was this constant reminder that if Kobe can die,
anybody
can
really
die. So all this is I'm killing myself for
even
now.
after achieving at such a high level. I think that's what really messed up a lot of people.
So
and then the fact that he now died with his daughter, who was just on her way to achieving. It's like, wait, what is this trying to teach us?
Let me give you another one.
You can achieve and then you can't achieve, and you're still on your way to die. Now they wait for everybody.
Let me give you another one. So he died in his helicopter.
No, not his. Was it his? Was it his private helicopter? I thought he hired it with other people and.
It was his private helicopter.
Even worse.
So you see, the poor people would say, "I beg, there's no point killing yourself looking for car. It's not the same helicopter that you bought that killed him. You save the car. Let me just be trekking JJ. Who go die, no point. So you see things like this come up every now and then. So these are life for that person. It depends on where the event or the incident hits the person, right? They're going to form some lifelong habits that every time is going to serve as a constant reminder that, okay, so here we are. He had a helicopter and now he's gone.
He had everything, basically. He had everything.
So who would die would die. So things like that. So it's very important that when you want to relate with people, you want to talk to people, if you want to influence them, if you want to negotiate with them, touch that part that their brains think to not reach most of the time. So there's a way I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give you this vibe that I'm not the kind of person you mess around with, right? And then you look at me and start wondering, is he all I'm saying, or is there more? It's like, did he come with a driver? Did he come with what they call these people? These guys with big chests that follow people around.
I want bouncers. I want securities.
Exactly. So
I want senior boys.
Yeah. So these things make it very important that you have to be emotionally intelligent. And then let me not jump too much without defining what emotional intelligence is. So it's the ability to understand emotions, right, in yourself, what triggers it, and then how it affects other people and your environment. So like I was giving that example where you start to ask the person this question of, why did he slap me? Was it funny? Is this intentional? Is this a genuine mistake? Was he looking for my reaction? If he was looking for my reaction, what reaction is he expecting? if I give him the reaction he's expecting, how would that make me feel? Would I feel used? Would I feel powerful? Would I feel like we're even?
And how would it make him feel? And then how would it change our relationship?
Exactly.
Where do we go from here if I react?
And how
where
would
do
it
we go
affect our
from here
environment?
if we don't react? Whoa, that's a lot of thinking in a very short time. Meanwhile, they've slapped you. Anyway, can we take a quick break? And when we come back, we will continue talking to my very interesting guest. I mean, he had me enthralled, guys. I hope he did too. And we have you locked in. You're listening to Everything Digital with your girl, Faith History. And I'm on air with Mr. Innocent Kenneth. COO of Emotion City. All right, gotta put that in there. I know he hates titles, but we're putting it in there anyway. All right, we'll be right back. And we're back, guys. We had such an amazing break. While we were off air, we were gisting, and I was gisting, Innocent about my son, my 6-year-old Logan, who just basically checkmated me with his new YouTube page, which he already has a name for it, Logan the Spider-Man.
I'll check it.
Okay, so it'll be set up because he's basically talked me into setting up this YouTube page, and I told you, Innocent, how he's basically just cornered me. Basically, he's just cornered me. I had told him before that, look, guy, once you have like 100 videos, you can have your own YouTube page. And he's like, okay, no problem, because I thought, that's long enough, that's far away enough that he can't get to it. In fact, I don't think I said 100. I said, once you have 50 videos, come to me and I'll set it up for you. And he said, okay. So that was last year. And then, about a month ago, he came back, I'm now 6. I need my own YouTube. And I'm like, look, it'll require so many things because he wants to game while he's on there because he watches all these other gamers, kids like himself. And he's like, I want to game. And I was like, okay, let's ask one of my friends who's quite techie, who's like, okay, you know what? You need a webcam, you need this, and then you'll need another computer so that it can record you gaming. And I said, well, when you're 7, because that's an investment. I don't have money. When you're 7, come back. And then, yesterday, because he's on midterms, he went in and brought me my own phone and say, hey, Mom, could you please quickly record this new move? I'm about to jump off these walls and do some things, because he likes to feel himself as a gymnast. I said, no problem. Just don't hit your head on this part here. No problem. So he went, did the moves, and I'm recording. And once I finished recording, he's like, great, Mom. Now I have 100 videos and my YouTube is ready. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? What do you mean you have 100 videos and your YouTube is ready? That's not happening. Wait. But I remember that I told him that once he had 50 videos, he could have a YouTube. So he was now coming back to me with my own words. And I don't want to go back on my word. I want to be like God. Okay. So I'm like, okay, fine. We'll do it this weekend.
So that's basically you lost to a 6-year-old in
yes,
the conversation battle.
I'm shy. I'm ashamed.
No, it's okay. He
paid me. And to seal the deal, let me tell you what he did. To seal the deal, I said, I'm also on YouTube. He said, yeah, I know, Mom. I've gone to your videos and I've liked it. I've even put in a comment. I said, I love you, Mom. I said, what? Come here for a kiss. A sweet kiss, my sweet boy. Because I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, not only are you trying to get this thing from me, but you're actually showing me support. I gotta support you back, man.
Exactly. It worked. Okay. So here's the thing, right?
Here's the thing. Break that down for me in terms of like young people and emotional intelligence and why it's so important.
So it's very important for young people, especially those starting out, because you have a lot of things against you. You don't have, for instance, in your place of work, you're not the smartest, you're not the most experienced, you're not the richest, you're not the strongest, you're not the most influential or connected, right? So you have to play your games right. So at that point, if you come up and say, oh, I had a first class in so and so, I did, so where's your experience? So lots of things are going to come against you. So it's usually wiser not to go directly. And I learned this the hard way, So I was supposed to have a negotiation with a company in food and bev and all that. So, and this negotiation required for us to see people and say, make this deal happen. When it does happen, for your what's it called now, for your is it assistance fee or whatever, we're going to give you
like
such percentage
fee,
all this kind of thing.
Finder's fee.
Exactly, finder's fee, thank you. So, and because then I was I was a junior staff, so I didn't have the power to have that conversation with the guy at the other company. So my boss walked in to me and said, "Yeah, I understand that you're going on." Like, "Yeah, I am. I'm going on the deal and everything." Like, "Okay, great. So where are you guys now?" So I gave her all the updates and everything, smart stuff I did. So I
Right.
gave him this. I sent
All
him
the
that
book
mail,
smarts,
everything. And then she was like, "Okay, that's great. So you know that we have one more thing, right?" I'm like, "Yeah. So have you negotiated with him on this?" And then this was my answer. Like, "Oh no, I haven't. I don't have such conversations with them. They're for you." It was truthful. It made sense, but it wasn't right.
Because you gave her, she was giving you some power, and you gave it right back to her.
Thank you. So,
You're like,
and I
take
just went,
your own
I
power.
just went like, I mean, we both know that I shouldn't be having this conversation, so I didn't bother and everything. I just threw it back at her, and then she's like, "Okay, I'll have the conversation with him then." And then I sat back inside, and I was like, she didn't give me vibe like. She was giving me vibe, "Oh, well done, nice work, nice work." Until that point, and then she was like, so I then thought about it. That was how my journey to emotional intelligence basically started. So I started to think, okay, is there a way to say the right things? So to your son and what he did, right? He didn't just give you he didn't have it direct conversations with you like, "Mommy, I want a YouTube video." And that's it. "So why do you want a YouTube video?" "Because I want to." No, he didn't go all those. I can assure you he didn't do that. So even though I was not there, what he most likely
I'm
did.
like, how did you know?
So what he most likely did was, "Oh, Mom, it would be nice for me to do this. This is because I love to do this, because I like to do this, because I want the world to see this, because I want." So
and
he
those
went.
are the things he said. He said, "I want to do all these my science experiments, and I want people to see them." And
He didn't tell you he wanted to have because he wants. He didn't make it selfish. He didn't make it look like, even though it might be just so he feels cool. Like, I'm a 7-year-old and I have a YouTube with 200 million followers and all those kind of things, or subscribers. So he went indirect, but you went directly and said, "Okay, it's fine. So this is the criteria. If you meet this, you're going to have your video. If you meet that." And then he looked at it, "Okay, so I can meet this. Okay, if I can't meet this, there's an alternative. If I go to Mommy and say, would this alternative work and all of those things?" "Yeah, okay. So what if I meet this? Would it suffice for this?" And then Mommy will say yes. Like, "Okay, it's fine." So he just kept going at it. And then here you are, losing and to a 6-year-old, and that's shameful. So usually what happens for young people?
I've been had.
So what happens for young people is you really have to learn how to draw people's emotion, right? Because really that's what makes them start to logicalize your request or logicalize whatever you want. Like I said, I learned this the hard way. So I'm usually the guy who you'd say, because I'm more introverted, so I have a lot of conversations in my head, and then it saves me the time of having that conversation with you. So I just filter everything and just give it to you straight, like it's a straight line. So, "Are you mad?" "Yes, I am." Finish. But otherwise, somebody would have said, when you ask somebody, "Are you mad?" and the person says, "Oh no, I actually just felt that this should have been done this way, and because it wasn't done this way, it just got me upset, and yeah, I guess you can say I'm mad," things like that.
Right. So you have a real conversation, and then you have different ways to go.
And then the person understands that, okay, this person is really not mad,
They're
maybe he's just
disappointed
upset.
or upset that things didn't go the same way.
But the bottom line is, the person is mad. So, but I just gave it to you like you're mad, and that person, at that moment, you're like, "Okay, this is the best time to avoid this guy so he doesn't bust my head because he said he's mad." But at that, the other person who gave you the whole everything, you're going to be like, "Okay, yeah, I understand that this can be upsetting. Is there any way to make it better?"
Right.
So it's very important for young people like me, to be able to put their emotional intelligence game first, because I have seen people like sell crap who are not as smart as me, but simply because they just know a way
to get your emotions working.
Emotions.
Yep.
Like someone, like I have seen many people who are well celebrated, and like, is this it?
Right. Like, this is what they're selling.
Like, is there more? Right?
No.
Because I can do this while I'm sleeping.
Like Bammy. Yeah.
And then the person just drops it, and you're like, "Whoa, this is the best thing I've ever heard all my life."
Right. And then you're just like,
"Oh, there's one guy who so sound, so smart. I've said this a million times in a million ways.
But you never listen because he didn't sell it the same way. So basically, just to round up and so we can finish this segment and move into our next segment, which will ask you some truth serum questions. Is it's basically about communication. It's about communication and communicating.
It's about energy.
And it's about energy. Finding out what people want, find out what makes them tick. It's a little manipulation. Don't you agree? Like it's a little bit.
It's a very slim line.
It's a very thin line, So if we go back to our list, right? Our original list for emotional intelligence is integrity. Do you have personal values that don't shift no matter the circumstance? If you stay with your integrity, you're not going to manipulate people because you have a moral compass, right? Humility. How do you handle feedback, criticism? Humility.
That's a great height of emotional intelligence, really.
Humility. Self-reflection. Do you reflect on who you are and who you aspire to be? Very important. Thoughtfulness. Do your words communicate what you actually mean?
Exactly.
So some of these things that we talked about, like what you're thinking and what you mean, what you're saying, are they in line? And then a good sense of humor. Right? Just being able to laugh at yourself, you take a joke and make sure that, not everything is too serious. Like just being able to take something. And I think that people who somebody said something to me, one of my friends said something to me recently, and she said, people who make jokes are really smart people. Because to be able to take something that everybody might be worried about or talking about or angry about and turn it into a joke. And now you've changed people's emotions. That's really smart. So that's major emotional intelligence. Okay, thank you so much for that.
Jokes also.
To be able to understand the jokes.
Yeah, because sometimes
the jokes are so dry.
Jokes and it's like, oh, okay, you're like, this is supposed to be a joke, and you're like, really? And you're really angry. You're like, this doesn't make sense. This is not funny.
wait. and if you're already angry, but like, is this a joke?
Exactly. So things like that. So it's really, but there's a way
is
to.
Is this a joke? Wait. Let's break that down real quick. You are angry, and then you're saying, "Is this a joke?" With anger. If it's a joke, laugh first. Don't even be angry again. At least just laugh first. Is this a joke?
There are people who never understand jokes. Like,
right.
You just make a joke.
Some people even hate it when you try to joke with them,
and then you're like,
because they're too serious. And no emotional intelligence is there in that land of seriousness.
Those people are usually easily depressed and easily,
angered.
very. You just okay. It's
just
fine.
remove yourself.
Red alert.
Move this way. Shift this side. All right. So truth serum time. Tell us about the most embarrassing moment for you in your entire life, and be truthful.
Hey, wow. This is.
The most embarrassing moment. Say it on radio. Let everybody hear. Say it for this gbogbo agbaye. We will not judge you.
It's fine. I'm not scared of being judged. I mean, I'm just thinking which one to pick.
Oh yeah, pick one. Anyone. Any which way.
So you see, this one time.
Story. Trying to filter it. Just drop it.
Like, I'm trying to pick from the list. Okay, so here it was. I was there in secondary school. So my logic was really flawed. So I had this girl that I was liking. She was black, beautiful. If you know me, if you're ever listening to this and you know me, you know I like black girls. So, and her name was Dalentina.
Dalentina.
Yeah. So one night.
Maybe her father was Darlington.
Maybe. One night.
And he was like, let's move it close to Miami. Darlingtina.
So I just sat down and I wrote her a love letter, I don't think it was Valentine even. Oh wait, that's not the part. So I wrote this love letter innocently. Like my name.
From your heart.
Like nothing implicating, nothing serious.
Just I love you, you're fine.
Like, so how are you? It's been a while. I miss you. I really wish you were in my class. I wish we could go to night prep together. Those nice things.
Yes, very nice. So I used to share my love letters. I was very wicked. I would share them around for everybody to read. I'm like, see this guy. See what he's trying to tell me inside this room where we're supposed to be studying. Can you agree? I was very wicked. Anyway, I apologize if I ever shared your love letter to me. Send it again. Let's see whether I will not share it on air this time. Okay, back to you.
So I wrote the letter, and I give it to her classmate to give it to her. I'm not sure how this guy delivered this thing, but I was just sitting there in class waiting for one of our teacher. And
you shouldn't have given it to someone today. You must send it direct.
Like, it was like I said, my logic was really flawed. So I just wanted it to be like from one Prince Charming that would just show up on them like, I'm sending you this letter.
Because you're like, it's a missive.
So
and you didn't put a seal on it. No, the thing is that we would be watching these films, yeah, all these films, and we'd be like, yeah, these plays and these films from England, and there'd be a seal on it with the wax.
Everything.
But you did not put your own seal.
I did not do any of that.
Anybody can open it.
Guy. So he gave it to her. He was a tight guy.
He was noble. Okay.
Yeah, he gave it to her. So, and then when he did, I just asked when I was passing like Alpha. So yeah, he dropped it like great, fine. So I was just waiting for feedback, and everything.
Were you nervous?
So I just sat. Yeah, I was, of course. I was like, will she like me? Will she not like me? But what happened, I never expected.
No. So, you gotta say that again, Nigerian way.
No, like what happened? I never expected.
There you go.
So I just sat in class, and then I think the guardian counselor sent for me, and then I was like, okay, is my father in school? Is my mother in school? What's happened? Nina. And then they sent for me, so I went. Like, so your parents sent you to school and you're here chasing women and this, that.
Do not let young love ring.
I was like, no, I was just sending her an innocent. I didn't even say anything implicating. I'm like, shut up. Before I knew, it was cane raining everywhere.
Guidance counselor.
And
they're supposed to be counseling you.
And I was like,
not without cane.
Okay, this is it. So after collecting all the strokes of cane and everything,
they beat you.
You don't want to know. So it didn't end there. The guy took me from class to class. So I went through the entire GS2, GS3 class. We had A to E, A to
Were you in GS1 or 2 or 3?
I was in 3.
You're in 3.
Went A to E, A to E. So I stood in front of every class and then I recited, I will never write love letter to any girl again in my life. I will never write love letter to any girl again.
So sorry.
So I said it like in front of, I know. Like it was that day. So when I got home after my junior work, and my daddy was like, do you want to continue in the school? I was like, no, I'm transferring.
Okay.
So
yeah, because you're done. He ruined your
so
your high school.
I never ever want to ever see anyone named Valentina.
Valentinas of the world, stay away from innocence
of the
world. Avoid because
Avoid
Valentina, do well.
So it was like and then I used to be.
Okay, so let's end it there so that we can, because I don't want you to start crying. This is not that kind of show. Okay. Okay.
It was embarrassing.
It was, that is embarrassing.
I never asked any girl out again.
Sorry.
Until I left university. I don't want anyone playing Valentina on me anymore.
Aww. So. Okay, listen. Innocent.
Thank you.
You're grown.
Yeah.
That did happen. And look, a lot of us have bad memories from secondary school. I mean, I'm sure that if we all, in fact, maybe I'll start a new series. Secondary school heartbreak. God. Like something to bring up all the pain that our teachers,
and
our
Dalentinas,
our co-colleagues, our students, and our friends put us through. Okay, so we'll do that. I think we should do that. All right, guilty pleasure. What's the one thing today that that you just love? You love to do. I mean, we know you like writing love letters, but did I just say that? Oh no, I'm so sorry. Will you forgive me?
That's fine. I'm healed. I'm fine.
Okay, you're healed. That's what I'm talking about. We can make jokes about it because we got emotional intelligence, baby. All right. So, what's your guilty pleasure?
Okay.
One thing that you just love doing, and you know what? You feel really nice about it, but don't nobody else know about it. Keep it clean. We're on radio.
I eat granite with everything.
With everything.
Like I just cook Indomie.
Granuts.
And then put it inside the microwave.
Granuts.
And then pour granite on it.
I love it. I will try it because I like granuts.
I eat granuts with ice cream.
I
with
eat
rice,
granuts with ice cream.
Oh,
With
great.
rice?
everything. Like,
Okay, time.
oh wow, then I shouldn't be sharing this.
Oh,
Are you
I
serious?
love that.
Like,
Groundnut
I
with
chew groundnuts with
everything.
coconut, like
With
weird
coconut,
things.
yeah,
like,
groundnut. I like
just-
groundnut, and I think that nutty flavor just, really.
and I mix it with everything, like
Mix it with everything.
everything.
Okay, so peanut butter or groundnut?
Can't I have both mixed? Like,
Oh,
rub-
okay, because you mix granola with everything, so you must mix it with the peanut butter. I mean,
Mix it.
not too
Just
much
mix
nut is
it.
nutty. Okay, so let's just leave that there.
Yeah.
I'm scared to ask you any more true questions. We gotta move on. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna put the spotlight on our guest. I'm having so much fun. And when we come back, we're gonna put the spotlight right on him, like as I said, and find out more about you. Like, how did you get into the work that you do right now? And yeah, we'll be right back, guys. You're listening to Everything Digital, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back, and now the spotlight's on Innocent.
I know.
Feels
Feels very uncomfortable, but it's fine.
Where did you go to school?
So by that you mean primary, secondary, university?
No, I don't need to know primary because there's some memories there that we don't need to know. You understand?
Yeah.
Before people now start calling in and say, I remember that time.
I
He came to
know.
my class. He
I
confessed
know.
himself. No.
Okay, so my university was at University of Benin, and
How was that?
it was interesting. It was
Yeah.
interesting.
Did
yeah.
they beat you up? Did you
Nah,
any
nah.
cults? None of that.
I didn't
You
actually
have to
know there
deal with
was
that?
anything called cultism
Nice.
until my final year of 300.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
so you would really never know if you don't care. You don't care. They
Alright.
they don't look for you also. So, but it was a good school for me as at the time.
Where'd you study?
Microbiology.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how did you morph from that into now doing other types of work with emotional intelligence?
Because as at 300 level, I knew microbiology in Nigeria was not going anywhere. I mean, if I can guarantee you that if you go to the banking industry right now, between 40 to, anywhere between 40 to 60, this statistic is off my head, please. Yeah, no study, no proof, would be microbiology students or
Thanks
people
for
from
letting
life,
us know that.
So and
Okay,
then
okay, so the banking industry, according
no, I'm just
to
saying, like,
you, is
how useless
microbiology
is in
No,
Nigeria.
you can tell
how
what
not,
is
how
on your
not
heart.
useful, how not useful,
Right.
or how not
How
effective.
not used. It's
yeah,
it's
the
useless.
course is.
Okay,
So
useless. All right. No. Let's keep it real, people.
like so yeah.
We're
so
not using it.
I
So if
knew-
you're in a bank and you're a microbiologist,
Stay
well
there,
done to
stay
you.
there.
Stay there.
Yeah,
and
you
make
can-
sure you carry your
Microscope.
microscope. So come and be looking at.
if they
people's
ever need you
account
to use your
number.
certificate, please just use it. Check the microbial load on currency notes. That's all.
There you go.
Or the water you guys drink.
right.
One of those things.
Do that so that you can
It's
just
fine.
check that off
So
for the day.
You don't
and
feel
then
like
you're
yeah,
done.
exactly.
And the rest of the time, give out loans.
so
No shade. No shade.
yeah, very important.
Very important.
So yeah, so I knew at the end that microbiology was not going to do so much for me. So
Okay.
I started to look for other things. So I went into research. I went into data analysis. So when I graduated, and my first place of work was working with, although it was interesting because I worked with HIV and Ebola. Viral load analysis. So it was really interesting. That was where I fell in love with research.
Okay.
And as at that time,
So
there
you
was
did
still
end up using the microbiology.
not
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 really
directly,
quite, not
because we
directly.
had guys who were
Actual.
med lab, so they didn't give us the chance to work with. So I was left at the back end, technical support. So
All right.
I
But
would
at least
run-
you knew like how to interpret, because I feel like sometimes we study something and then we're like, yeah, I'll never use that again.
No, it's not true.
And you'll need it. At least you'll be able
Always.
to have an idea of how things work. So as opposed to now you being at the back end doing technical work, and then everything that they're putting into your database is gibberish because you don't understand it. Now you
It
understand
makes
it. You're
sense,
like, oh,
yeah.
yeah, it makes sense.
It made
yes.
sense.
Okay.
So yeah, that was
So it was
how.
useful at the end of the day. So we can take back everything you just said. Kind of, sort of. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So it was, and then that was how I fell in love with research, and then I started to expand. So my research usually was around public health. It was me just finding out, okay, so how people get infected with nosocomial infection, how people get infected with TB. So what's the relationship between tuberculosis and HIV? So I was like so into it that I could tell by looking at someone's health record that okay, this person most likely has HIV without even doing the test. Yeah, because there are like how do we call this now? They're like
indicators.
Yes, that you just look at and say, okay, for this person to have their eosinophil, sorry. Like,
this is another show. This is another show. I only asked you where you study. I didn't know that there are microbiologists. See, microbiologists that say you do not need it. No. You're a microbiologist, dude. No. You're about to start getting into like the wheres and the why forth and the.
I'm trying to take you through the journey, right? Like
this your journey.
How it came about, how I had to expand. So
right.
It
so
was
then you expanded.
it was basically just public health, and then at some point I'm like, okay, so this is limiting because people sometimes have psychological issues that lead to health issues. So I started to observe how, like, when people come up and say, oh, I'm emotionally intelligent, I'm a choleric, I'm a sanguine, I'm like, is that all you know about emotional intelligence? And most times that's all they know, like the four, what's it called, Why You Act the Way You Do by Tim LaHaye, all those kind of things. So then the latest research I worked on was the Big Five personality test and how it affects marriage.
Oh, you don't have to come back, honey. You're a friend of the house now. You're coming back because I want to hear about that. A lot of us out here are married.
So you realize that people who,
and some are planning to get married. You want to know
people who have 0 to some, who have a very high neuroticism, usually are not satisfied in their marriage. So these things are just easy to pick. And then people who have high agreeability or openness and all of those things tend to experience high satisfaction in marriage. So it goes a long way. So I began to look at this. So someone who doesn't have like good marital satisfaction or all of those things most likely will come down with things like high blood pressure. So you just find a way to just draw this line. I mean, there's always a connect.
Research, data,
that's how,
correlation.
That's how I am where I am at the moment.
So is that what you do in your free time?
Yes, research. Yes,
research in your free time
and business. I just get money everywhere.
Okay, so you love business. All right, and now there's a quick plug that I want you to do. What's an app that you think that everybody who's listening right now needs or watching us needs to have in their phone, in their lives, on their iPad, laptop?
So I'm going to share from a little from the ones I've used. So
just one major one, yeah, or two. Okay, I'll let you give us two.
Okay, so you can use Flipped. It blocks you from social media distraction. You just kind of detox. I don't know, for people who manage to listen to Nigerian news or go on, I have avoided the news for a long time.
Why?
That's how I stay sane. Yeah, I don't want to know. It's like back in 2011 when the Just crisis was at its peak. Then I always cried every night watching Channel's news. Like, you just see the mass grave where they're dumping human beings, and I just sat down and started crying, like, this is close to us already, and then we think we are all okay in Lagos and all. So I don't want to, because
so
I'll complete the story for them
to basically block
everything,
things out. Okay, so that's Flipped.
Then you can use Mind Valley also.
Mind Valley, what does that do?
It helps with meditation.
All right, I like that.
And
Mind Valley and Flipped. Okay, I'm gonna write that down just in case I want to block Una. Flip.
And you can block everything social media and just leave the basic functionalities on your phone.
Right. And you can just do a detox, like maybe one day a
year. I do that frequently. I do the WhatsApp detox thing. Sometimes I just go off a whole.
Did you hear me? One day a year. One day I'm off because I have to know what's going on.
No, you think you'd miss a lot, but no, you wouldn't, and you feel refreshed. Really, you'll be amazed at the things you accomplish with So just leave them an email to reach you. Leave them. They should always send a text. Leave them an email to reach you. What's it called? You can use another one that's not so
When I'm 60.
Try it now. Try it now.
Come on, be green. All right. Listen, we loved having you on the show.
Thank you.
I thank you for the plug. And on our end, we're going to plug some hot new music. So you guys should listen out
so I
for
can
that.
dance.
Yeah, so we could dance. So Spain's going to give us some hot new music.
I'm
And
an awkward dancer.
thank you so much, Innocent, for coming on the show. You've been
Thank you for having
just
me.
a wealth of information. I know you don't want to go because you want to stay with us and tell us everything about emotional intelligence and the other work that you're doing. But we have to go. The show has run a long time over. But of course, you guys will be getting the radio edit. So that's what you're listening to right now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Every single time we bring you more digital presence, more things that are happening digitally, and the best people who are running from digital, like this guy with this flip app. Okay. All right. That's the show for me today. My name is Faith History. You can follow us and join our WhatsApp group. Again, that is 0813-888-0585. And for those who have joined, we are live and we're making things happen. So thank you for joining and thank you for participating. And you can catch us everywhere else on social media. We have videos of this very amazing interview. So check out our Instagram, okay, and our YouTube. Don't forget, that's eDigital Africa. And that's it. Bye-bye. Toodles.
Everything Digital is proudly brought to you by MTN. This is a Faith History production.